The Taipans have always, in recent years, had a little bit of success against Melbourne. Is tonight their night? Absolute defensive stopper. Had 12 steals across 2 games the course of last weekend. Beautiful pass from Delaney. Krebs cutting baseline, opens up the scoring.
Bringing his weak side and can get exposed a little bit.
Here's Admiral Schofield going to the rack. More of that, please.
That's what we've been asking for. His size, or even bigger, Pete, can't handle his strength, but he's got to apply himself and go ahead and assert it.
He's 9th on the team for free throws this season, Admiral Schofield. It is remarkable. Now Schofield on that right side, matched up with Doyle. Straight at him and taken away by Edwards. Doyle against his championship teammate at Tassie and Marcus Lee. Edwards likes the matchup with Higgins-Titcher. Good defense from the Snakes. They do not force a lot of turnovers, this Cairns team. That's a good start, as is that for Admiral.
Well, the Cairns Taipans were off to a solid start here. And the fact they were going to have to gamble a little bit. Well, Higgins-Titcher did so on that last defensive possession as Jesse Edwards slams one home off a Walker penetration.
Yeah, but he's had to do it a lot so far this season. Try and find a response from a poor performance. 4 games decided by 30-plus points in the loss column, Cairns, as Walker races up the floor. So Prescott can get a number of good looks, as is his wont. Schofield off the Higgins-Titcher. Here is Marcus Lee underneath. Nice finish off the offensive board.
And the recruiting.
Imagine being an opposition guard coming up against Melbourne this season when they get Shea Illy back, thinking as Krebs goes to the cup and scores with the and one to come. Here he is with Melbourne United. Here's Rayne Smith taking the handoff, getting inside. The injury to start the year, so wasn't in the Taipans lineup to start the season. Kyle Adnam getting set to check into the game. Schofield, long 2, rattles it in.
That's something that I think could be more useful for him as well. Try and get better position on the floor as Delaney slips.
Smith from deep. That's his kind of range. Fell underneath.
Chris Golding. Amy replay. Delaney just slipped. Good awareness by Mag just to get the attention of Wilson and get your sharpshooter. Rayne Smith.
Well, that prevents that from happening.
Daniels, nice find inside to Bowen, coming off his best scoring game of the season.
That's right. I was listening in to Coach Forty, who told his team to space the floor, get the ball moving, and then fall into that 2-man game, like staring at each other after the offense breaks down and they don't get what they want. When that bond is there, you can really see it on the court, so I feel like they have to focus on that as well.
Open layup here for Melbourne.
And a lot of it is, too. Have a look at that. You cannot be loose with the ball around a Daniels.
And they're just naturally loose.
Something they seriously are going to have to work on, because if you don't like who you're playing with, you're not going to want to run through a brick wall.
Those cracks are evident.
But Pete, a lot of that comes to the psychological strength of your imports. Knowing what they're facing right now as Edwards slams one through.
Some of those seams in this Cairns Taipans outfit. Schofield's already got 3 turnovers. Awkward dribble there. Bowen pressuring him. Mag pulls down the rebounds. Schofield outside to Mawat Mag. Marcus Lee! He tries to tip it home. His activity's been good.
I do like Schofield putting it on the floor and being a little bit more aggressive there as Golding taking on Marcus Lee. I don't want to say it's a mismatch, but that is a mismatch to him. It doesn't matter where he is. He'll be looking down at his feet. Little Spanish action maybe, or watch the little corner flare.
Couple of seconds, shot to game clock. Golding for 3 and 1.
Defensively and a lack of awareness, but then you compound it with a foul.
We had Josh King mic'd up in commentary last night. That man doesn't have...
But this is the NP. They got to tighten up.
That's what I said. You can't let your offense dictate how hard and how connected you play defensively.
Here's Andrews, who's back out there. That's good to see. After a bit of a knock in that opening term, running into a Jesse Edwards screen, getting to his spot, going baseline, and hitting as the shot clock expires.
In a couple of possessions, if you can score, you know what, we're zoned this possession. Next possession, we're going to trap the ball screen. Next possession, switch 1 through 4. Keep the offense guessing. Change it up every possession if you have to. It's hard to do. It relies on communication. But it's too easy.
Consistency to his shot making, and that makes a big difference.
Lee hands off to Andrews, wide open for 3, bottom of the net. Fabian Crisley comes up with the rebound. Golding in the corner. Back out there, firing away and connecting in trademark Chris Golding style.
Replay. Bowen knows what to do. Get it to one of the best scorers in NBL history.
The Harrison's been unbelievable.
Lamar Patterson's been solid.
A couple of threes, he's 2 for 2. You've got to stay locked in at all times.
Here it comes.
Got to stay locked in at all times.
If I got fouled, no call.
Golding baseline, Kuzlovic outside, knocks that one down.
Right, it's going in the stat sheet as a block, so
that is a concern for them. Of course, they put up that season low 60. They haven't scored. Lee from outside, no good. On the turnaround, I should say, as this time he makes sure that Tom Wilson's not having any luck.
His 35th birthday.
Yeah.
Back in 2002. Anybody's starting to talk about the big game on Sunday, and they're not focused for this. The many considered to be a danger game, as Schofield is short again. Now they're 3 of 14 from 3, and they might not be done.
Get some movement on the offensive end. Smith comes curling off the screen.
Yeah, shout out Tasmania. We're going to highlight 2 Tasmanian shooters.
Back-to-back 3 balls for the Taipans.
A good outing last time out as well, Rain Smith, 13 and 5. 5 of 9 from the field as Walker.
All right, let's go. Now, Cairns have a chance here. A little 2-for-1 situation. They get an easy one off the inbounds.
Done that a couple of times.
Got it. On Andrews. Making him earn every centimetre of space that he gets. Andrews found enough to get the shot off. Lee pulls it down. Smith for 3.
Big hit. Can you review the clock, please?
It's time to shoot. Rain Smith, catch and shoot.
That's a tough shot.
Schofield inside.
Now that was one, Pete, that I thought was a catch and shoot.
Speaking of, Finn Delaney makes it work. That is a nice stroke from Finn Delaney.
Oh, that's why the breakdown. How does he get wide open? There's no one in the backcourt.
Andrews working on Doyle. Smooth moves, rises up and banks it home.
Hit him with a little pocket crossover. Melbourne right back, and that's inexcusable. They've had all types.
By no means.
Andrews working on Walker, slices his way inside, and there is Galloway. Walker to inbounds. Doyle up top. Uses the screen from Edwards. Well, goes baseline and finishes. That is tough from Milton Doyle. And he
So often see that called, though.
But Pete, what we're seeing often is the Taipans just off the bounce. Oh my, that's just poor.
Just 6 a game. His minutes rise in the last few. Finding his feet in this season as Jesse Edwards puts the moves on inside.
Continuously go under.
Walker, Krebs, Bowen, Kuzlovic and Doyle.
Well, I predicted a 27-point win. That's in danger.
Mag from outside strokes it.
Fundamental errors. After shooting, dribbling is the most important skill in the game.
Doyle making that.
Third quarter rolls around, he puts his head down, and I think it's all because he's leading up to the last quarter, where he's at his very best.
Third quarter specialist type vibe for Milton.
I think it's part of the warm-up to be one of the most clutch players in the league.
Here gets Titcher in attack mode. Takes it right at big Fabes underneath.
Spanish action.
Tom Wilson's got away with one there just about.
That was... He got away with one.
Cairns side, I think, were irate. Maybe rightly so. Rain Smith from the free throw line. Wilson gets Melbourne into some action. Minute and a half remaining in this third period. Melbourne trying to stay undefeated in the young portion of this season as Daniels inside. Good week for the Daniels family.
You think?
Dyson inking a contract. What do you reckon younger brother's asking for? As Higgins Titcher fails a 3.
5% Joel, 5% Pete? I have none. But to answer your question, and I want Pete's answer as well, as Walker finishes with a floater.
Mine is 15. You know, you have fans out there like Derek that think, 27, they were going to lose by 27 or 30 plus. A lot of people thought they were going to get blown out. So I think if they can lose by 15 or under, some dignity and some pride is still there.
By the Perth Wildcats in that incredible comeback game.
Hey, look, Pete, you know what Ariana's doing. She's flexing on that Bullets comeback yesterday. Defenders be on this Melbourne United team a couple of years ago. Ariel Porty as a big man is rolling wheels off a screen and knocks down.
Melbourne 23 of 25, so they have not been able to keep United off the strike. Andrews off to Lee. Working on Edwards, who almost got a piece of it. Smith, slightly more comfortable from that kind of distance. Gets rid of Walker, and Edwards gets rid of Wayne Smith. Holy moly, was that a block.
Have a look at this, because Jesse Edwards blocks this with his tricep.
Between the Taipans at the moment.
Nice pass.
That was a beautiful pass from Krebs to find Kruzlovic going to the hoop. Adnam guarded by Wilson. Taipans just trying to take some positives out of the end of this one. And that's a nice move from Andrew Andrews, who's continued to force the ball inside.
In the end, they've got 9 threes at 36%. Marcus Daniels knocks one down just to add a bit more pain. They're just leaking way too many points.
Out to 27. Galloway no good.
Replay here. Dash Andrew Andrews just looks tired, looks done. And
limitations in terms of what he's able to do in preparation for games.
We've got Brisbane next as Wilson gets that to go. And he will go to the line to add one more. You got to sit here again tomorrow night with me, Pete. 28 points. That sounds so excited. 3 minutes remaining. Bowen, D's up on Mag, who hits a tough shot.
Real big blowout potential, but in this game it's an anomaly because of what we've seen defensively from the Taipans. The Taipans have shot better from the three.
Well, Joel, he may as well go and sit down and take some pressure off of his knees.
Here is Campbell block. Every Melbourne player has scored. That's all your Melbourne players that have hit the floor tonight. They're the only ones that even went on the plane. Higgins Titcher underneath, swatted by Bowen.
Give me that.
No Shea Illy as well. So that will be a fascinating game.
You got to shoot it.
Galloway does and makes it work. The Taipans won't suffer another 30-point defeat, but it will be a convincing Melbourne win, who come to far north Queensland and flex their muscle